Hello everyone, this is Stephen Balch, your instructor for Legal Environment of Business at Ozarka College. Today what I'm going to do is give you just a little bit of feedback on the chapters 20 through 22 activities that I finished grading this morning. And then I'm going to tell you what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities. So like I said, I did finish grading the chapters 20 through 22 activities. Finished grading those this morning. They were due last night. If you haven't looked at your grades for those, and a lot of you probably haven't yet, go ahead and do that as soon as you can. Let me know if you have any questions. Read the grading comments as well. Let me know if you have any questions at all about the grading of those activities. Overall, most of you did well on those chapters 20 through 22 activities. And like I always tell you, I really appreciate the time and effort that you're putting in, so keep up the good work on that. The discussion that we had for this set of chapters that dealt with the EFTA, or Electronic Funds Transfer Act, I thought that went really well. Now, I did notice that most of you did not catch on that the case that was presented to you for the discussion item, in that particular case, the EFTA would not apply because it was a credit card transaction, and EFTA only applies to bank account transactions, okay? Electronic bank account transactions. So because it was not a type of transaction that was covered under EFTA, it would not apply in this particular case. All right. And in my last reply to the discussion last night, I did explain all that. But that's one of the very first things you have to do when you're looking at a case. For example, when a judge is looking at a particular case, and especially if the case is brought up with a particular law in mind, the first thing the judge has to do is determine if that particular law applies in this particular case. In this case, it does not apply because it was not the type of transaction that applies to EFTA. So you always have to kind of be aware of that even though it may seem like the transaction in a particular case may apply to a particular law, or a law may apply to that particular transaction, it may or may not, depending on what type of transaction it is and whether that particular type of transaction is covered in that particular law. All right? So just kind of keep that in mind. Now, I did notice when I was grading the assignments and the discussions that some of you did not fully answer some of the questions on the assignment and on the discussion. So make sure that when you're completing your activities, that you are answering each part of each question thoroughly using your own words, whether it's on the assignment or the discussion. All right? If you have questions about that, just let me know. All right? That brings us to what we've got coming up due for our next set of activities. So if we go to the activities page in my Ozarka, right now we're on week 11 of the semester. We just had our chapters 20 through 22 activities due last night. And we've got our next set of activities due the middle of next week, specifically Wednesday, November 8th. So you've got the chapters 23 and 24 assignment, test, and discussion all due by Wednesday, November 8th, which is Wednesday of next week. So you've got about a week to be working on those activities. So go ahead and get started as soon as you can. Don't wait until the last day, because that's where you get into a time crunch and you're not able to fully answer all the questions and so forth. All right? And as you're working on those activities, let me know if you have questions. Remember, you've got several different types of resources, learning resources available. You've got your textbook, you've got the PowerPoint slides that I provided on the assignment page, and you've got the videos that I've linked that cover the concepts presented in these chapters. And that all those links are on the assignment page. Okay. Chapter 23 covers negotiation and discharge of a negotiable instrument. So in the chapters 20 through 22 that we just covered, it kind of introduced you to negotiable instruments. These next two chapters, chapters 23 and 24, are going to take you a little bit further and learn about the specific laws that govern the negotiable instruments and different activities that are covered under the law about negotiation, okay, of instruments. So you've got, again, chapter 23 covers negotiation and discharge of a negotiable instrument. Specifically in chapter 23, you're going to learn about endorsement requirements, types of endorsements, liabilities of the endorser, and then towards the end of the chapter, you will learn about the various ways that a negotiable instrument can be discharged. All right? And then in chapter 24, which is the final chapter that covers negotiation, or negotiable instruments, I'm sorry. Chapter 24 covers liabilities and defenses specific to negotiable instruments. And so specifically in this chapter, you're going to learn about the types of liabilities for negotiable instruments. You're going to learn about holders in due course. And in fact, our discussion for chapters 23 and 24 will pertain to a specific set of questions that ask you about holders in due course and the special rights that they're given in negotiation. So you have holders in due course, and then you have holders of consumer paper, and then towards the end of the chapter, you'll learn about the limited, universal, and hybrid defenses to enforcement of a negotiable instrument. All right, so that is chapters 23 and 24. So be working on those activities. Again, get started as soon as you can. Let me know if you have any questions. I'll be glad to answer any questions that you have or help you in any way that I can. Other than that, I don't have anything else. So enjoy your Halloween tonight, your Halloween activities. Enjoy your weekend, and I will talk to you again sometime next week. Thank you.